and welcome to Crafting with Jane. Today I want to show you how I created this card. If I bring it up, you can see the mouse has got this really lovely texture and the background I think is just wonderful. So I thought I'd show you how to do that. Fairly straightforward and simple, but you can use it with whatever stamps and things you've got. As you know, I love Tracy Evans stamps and I'm doing a lot with hers because I really like small independents. She's lovely and, you know, they're just my style. So you need a mask to start off with. Let's put this to one side. So you need a mask. This is just copy paper, so it's very, very light because you want it. You want to be able to go through it, and you can do it. Use it a couple of times before it's probably needs throwing away, and you need to die cut another one. I'm using blending brushes and I'm using a variety of inks. So let me just put my cutouts out of the way and I'll show you how to do those later. So I've got a green, I've got a yellow, and then I've got a couple of sort of peachy colours because I want to tone in with the hair, which is a different colour to, so I thought I'd do different colours. You don't want to be seeing exactly the same colour. So I'm going to start with this yellow, which is quite a nice warm yellow. It's called Bumblebee. It's a retired Stampin' Up one, but I really like the way it sort of just blends through. Now what I'm doing is I'm literally just blending through across. Now you don't have to worry too much about it being completely smooth because we're stamping over the top of it, and because we're stamping over the top of it, it means that we can get lots of different textures. Now, you can stick it down if you want to. As you know me, I don't. I just sort of balance it where I want and then go that way. So that's our yellow. Now I'm going to do some green, and I'm going to be doing this literally straight on top with this one. So I'm just going to take some green out. And I'm going to take that in from the bottom here because I just want some different colours coming out. So that's going to come in like this, and I can blend this through into the other one. And I might just take a little bit up on this other side. Now, again, this mask has, I've had it for, it's had well enough time to dry out completely, so you're not going to get too much smudging through. So that's got our little bit of green. It says me having moved the mask, but that's fine, we can put it back. And then I'm going to use this lovely peachy colour. Now I'm just going to change the brushes because I've got this one which is more for my peaches and things, and I can just take this back into the position where I wanted it like that, and we should be fine on there. So I'm just going to take this up with the orange and then I can put that through. Now I'm not putting the orange next to the green because if I do that it's going to go muddy. It's fine to go next to the yellow, but if I put it right next to the green, it's likely, as I say, to go a bit muddy, and we don't want it to go muddy. So I'm just bringing it up and just taking those colours. So you've got different colours going on, which I think is quite nice, like that. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I'm taking a darker orange colour. This is Calypso Coral. This one was Crisp Cantaloupe. As I say, a lot of them are retired. You won't be able to get them anymore, but they're just sort of the colours and things that I use. So just putting those out of the way. And then I'm taking this stamp. Now this stamp is from the new Tracy Evans Boutique Designs TE6, and it's called Branched Heart, and there's these lovely chevrons. Now they work absolutely perfectly to give you a background, so I'm just literally inking it up and then I'm going to just take it across where I just fancy taking it. So I'm just going to be taking it across, and then we'll have, the nice thing about this is that you can put it down in between the other pieces and you get it where you sort of want it. Now I'm not pressing quite hard enough on this. I don't think I've put enough ink on there actually, but you can go over again. You don't have to be, let's put that on there, that's better. And then we'll have this bit on here. I can put that in like that, that's better. And then these quite nicely, because they're chevrons, you can fit them into each other. So I can have that on top of there, I can have this one on top of there, and I can have this one on top of there. I'm just going to make sure I have a little bit in on there, and then I'm just going to take another one just in on that corner, because as I say, it doesn't have to be perfect patterns. I need to get a little bit up on there, don't I? Or on this one, let's just try just a little bit on there like that. Okay, so when I then take this off, you've got this lovely pattern going on. So if I show you the other one, this has got blues, and I did the background in yellows and blues. This one, you've got oranges, because I've done the background in the oranges like that, which I think is quite nice. So let me then show you. I'm just going to leave those inks there for now, and I will clean that off just in a minute. Let's just give it a little bit of a wipe with a kitchen roll, then it won't stain too much. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take one of these hairs. Now, how did I create this one? I don't know which one I'm going to use. That one, I think, because that's got quite a lot in there. So what I did with this was, it was at one of my busy backgrounds. So sometimes I do backgrounds which I don't particularly like. So for example, something like this. Yes, bit of an experiment, don't really like it that much. However, if I used the stencil for the hair, which is, there's one for the mouse and one for the hair. They again are the Tracy Evans Boutique Designs. This one is called Snippet Stencil. Oh, that's difficult to say. Snippet Stencil Mouse and Snippet Stencil Hair. And the nice thing is that you have an inside and an outside, so you can actually put your stencil in on there, and then you can, that's what I did on this one, so I could get the whiskers. You can cut the whiskers out if you want to. It's far too fiddly for me, so I just did it and then drew them in with a marker. And again with the hair, I've got the inside part, so it means I can get the eye in exactly the right position, because sometimes if you look at something and you're not an artist, you go like, well, where does the eye go? But using this, it will show me exactly. I can put this on top like this, line it up, and I know exactly where the eye is going to go. So the eye is going to go down on this little bit like this. So if I just take, excuse the gold on there, that's where I've been doing some edges. So if I take this so that I have the hair where I want him to be, and I get a little black marker. So this is just an ordinary black marker. And then I can, let me just get that back in again where I want it. Need to make sure you have it in the right position. And then you can take your little marker and just make a little mark. Whoops. Then when you take it off, you should be able to see where that little mark is, and you can then make it bigger. So I can do that, and then that gives him a little just a little eye. Now you can also do the other pieces as well, so you can do highlights and things, but what I tend to do is I will eyeball it, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that later. So I then I got this. I then put the stencil down, which was the hair stencil, in on there. I then ran it through an embossing folder, and then I used some of the gilding wax. So this is Pebeo gilding wax, and I think you can get it from anywhere. I've got gold and silver, and I've got bronze. You just take a little bit on your finger because it's a wax, and you literally just rub it over. Once it's dried, you take a cloth and just buff it. So because this is quite delicate now, you don't want to be rubbing backwards and forwards, so just brush it one way and you'll get the shine to it. So that's how I got this. I think if you look back on other videos, you'll see where I've done it from scratch. So I want this to go in on the center like that. So I'm going to get some glue, and I'm going to stick this one right in on the center. Now you might turn around and go, oh, it's going to disappear. Yes, it will disappear, but this is where we then take some a black marker, and exactly the same as when we're doing edges and things, and you could take a different color, but I want it to stand out, so I'm just making sure that I use enough glue right down onto the edges, because it's important to get those little tiny pieces so that then they won't stick up. Because you've embossed the paper, you're going to need just a little bit more detailed glue, and then I can put this in on here like that. I want to make his feet nice and straight. That come up on there, so that it all comes in. Now, as you can see, he's blending in a little too much. So what we need to do is we need to outline him. Now I'm going to use my Posca pens. And again, you can get Posca pens from anywhere. You can get them online. Little ball bearing, give them a shake, and then you will have it out. And then I will draw the line in so it's on the outside. So can you see how I'm drawing it on, and I'm turning the paper so that my pen is always resting in on the line, so that it's resting against this side of the paper, because then that makes it easier. Now I'm saying that, I am just going to take this up like that, but if you do it like this, it means you're far less likely to sorry, I'm concentrating. You're far less likely of getting the lines coming out in the wrong way. So just by doing it this way, you know that you are going to get this coming round where you want it. And as I say, I want the outline because I want it to show up against the background. Okay. And I can take this round on here. This round on the centre. Whee, that was a little bit off. So again, concentrate is what I'm saying. If I go too fast, then it's easy to get off the line. So just do it really gently and slowly. Take your time. If you race, you're more likely to make a mistake. There we go. In fact, I think I've done that one a little bit out, but that'll have to be a little bit out for now. Okay, so now we've done that, what we can do as well is, if I get this on here, I can now see that I want to do the inside of his ear from about here and take it all the way up like that. Okay, so that's separated the ear, and I can see that because it's on here. Okay, I've got the little eye, which is fine, and then I can do some highlights if I want to, and I would do that with the white pen. It's not going to show up as much, but it is, I will be able to see it more than you because the camera light is quite strong on here. So I've got, if I put this on here, you can see I've got a little line up on the top here. So I need to just do a little line up on here on the white. And I want a little line just coming in like that. I want a piece on here which goes down on his front like that. I want a little bit on top of his foot there and a little bit just up on his tail like that. So that's given just a little bit of highlight. Okay, so, and I think I've got a little bit of a black mark there, but I can probably put something on there. But that's given a really lovely different style of background. So we've got the two different backgrounds. If I bring this one back in, so that you can choose whatever colours you want, and you can also put whatever you want on the inside. Now I'm going to put a probably an Easter sentiment or something on this one. I'm not sure on this one, but again, all you need to do to finish it off is to take and I will choose, let me get my other markers out because I have my thick markers which I use for doing round on the borders, as you know. So I can take and again on this one, if you look, I've done some little splatters. I quite like doing splatters because they look quite pretty. So on this one I am going to do some white splatters. So I've got the white one here. Let me just take, now I could do black because I've got some black there. So we'll have a look and see. I want to do some white on here because I think that that will look quite pretty. You just tap it and you get some nice sort of splatters coming through. I think that's quite pretty. Now I might do I want to do a few black? I think I will because of this mark here. So if I do some black, can you see on here? So all I've done is done it on the outside and it covers up that little mark. Makes the outside not quite so bright. A couple of bits in the centre. So it all ties in. And that has given me just a little bit. And you can see where I did that little boo-boo there with my finger. It's blended in and you can't see it as much because you've got the splatters going all the way through. Okay, so if I'm taking this one, I quite like that, and I think I'm going to do, I've done him in silver, so I'm going to do this one with a silver border. So let me just grab my ruler, which is probably, here it is, stuck down the side. Now I'm just going to literally run this across the edge. It's a metal edged ruler. This ruler is very, very old actually. It belonged to my grandfather, but can you see on here I've got a little bit of, I haven't cleaned it from doing it the last time. So if I just clean it, it means that I'm not going to be putting, you know, mucky bits on there. So I want this one to have the silver around the edge. Again, just shake it. And I'm just going to, and I'm doing that one first because I have obviously put the splatters on the other. And if you put a pen straight over the top of your splatters, it's going to come everywhere. But if I move this carefully and just do an edge, it will come out beautifully. So that's going to be my silver one. Like that. Lovely. And then I'm just going to do, this one is going to be in the gold because I've got the gold on there. And it's just tying things in together. These are obviously just one layer cards, and that's the nice thing as well. If you send a lot of cards, which I do, because I belong to lots of different swap groups, as most of you know, it's nice to be able to not have things that are going to cost too much in postage. If you have something with an extra embellishment or something on, quite often it goes into the next line, you know, into the next part of the postage, and that's not particularly good. So I try and do as many one layers, and that also means a lot of if you do a lot of matting and layering, again your card gets quite thick, and then you can't, it's not as easy to post. So I am going to put some sentiments and things on here, but I haven't decided exactly which ones I'm going to do, so I shall wait until I've decided, and then you'll probably see it on the front side, which is what I normally do. Need to just turn that off a bit. There we go. Okay, so that's given me the gold for that one and the silver for this one. And you can see how it all sort of tones in together. So if you then just take a, I'm just going to do it straight onto a white so you can just see the difference in here. So if I just fold this. Okay, so if I have this one, you can see just by doing the gold how it stands out quite nicely. Just put a sentiment round on there and you've got a beautiful card. And again, if I take this one, again you've got the nice colours. Now again, don't be afraid to try different colours. You know, these are colours I wouldn't necessarily use. I'm far more in the blues and the greens and things, but it looks really pretty. Put some pretty sentiments and things on there and you've got yourself a lovely card. So I hope you enjoyed that. As always, please stay safe and well. Please be kind and look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.